Oh, hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to another video. And yeah, it's another day, another weekend. It's actually Thanksgiving weekend here in Canada, which I think in the States is Columbus Day, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember, but it's Thanksgiving weekend here. Anyway, we are continuing today on our Panther build. That's this guy right here. And yeah, it's the 1/35th scale German Panther tank by Meng. And we got some stuff done on this guy this week. I didn't do it on video, I didn't do it on camera, but I spent a lot of time on the tracks. Okay, so my tracks are basically in two pieces, kind of pre-formed, that are going to go on, one on the bottom, kind of like this, and then another half will go on the top, and that'll be like this one here. And so he's going to go on the top like this, kind of sit like that. Yeah, okay, so these are done as far as our two halves to be able to put them on there. Now if I could, there's an option, and I've seen guys do this, where they basically glue all the wheels together like this, and then they put the tracks on there, and so they have it all as one cohesive unit, just one solid thing that they just put on the tank after it's all said and done. I don't think that's going to be practical for this one, because of the poly caps in there. It would make it really hard to get everything. These wheels don't actually, here's the odd instance where there's a little bit of, a tiny little bit where it might touch here, and it might touch just in this little spot here, but not really enough to actually be able to glue them in as a solid piece. So even though this thing is not going to have workable tracks, right, obviously these are not going to be able to go around anywhere because they're glued together, right? And that's the drawback to this kind of tracks, right? I have had, this is a little bit loud, sorry here. I have had instances where basically the different tanks I've built, I've run into three different types of tracks. There's these type, obviously, where you have to assemble them and glue them together. And then I've had rubber tracks. It seems to be really popular with Tamiya. Tamiya likes the rubber tracks. And then there's the tracks I've had from, I think it's Academy. Their tracks, they like to make them so that they kind of click together, and so they're actually workable. And yeah, if you watch my build on the Academy tank, I use a bunch of pigments and everything to do the weathering and rusting and dirt effects on them and stuff like that. And the pigment binder just basically ate into the plastic, and they were falling apart on me. So that was a lesson learned on that one, to not use pigments. But yeah, so that's basically it. I got all of our little kibble on the sides of the tank done here. Little cable and an axe and spare tracks. On this side we have, I don't know what goes in there, some kind of tube. This looks like a great big long pry bar. We've got a shovel and a pair of bolt cutters. I'm not sure what this piece is. It's kind of a half moon looking piece, and there's one on each side, and I'm not sure what the function of that is. But anyway, there's that. And we have our, just kind of working on our cables that are going to go here. It's going to latch onto here and then go on the front. And I've got two. I just glued this one, so it's just sitting there in my tweezers just until the glue sets. Those are going to go on. But today, what are we going to do? Today, we have to take a look. We started on the turret last time. Alright, and we got our turret done. Turret sitting here like this. We got this guy done, but he's not complete. He's still missing a big piece here. We're missing the anti-aircraft armor that's going to go on top, right? So we got to get into that. So we have these. This is what we were all doing last time. Got this guy on. I got the antenna to go on that's going to go on the back here, but that's going to be like last, because if I put that on now, I'm going to wind up breaking it off later. So that's no good. And so yeah, I'll wait until practically finished painting for that. So our next step would be the cables. We're not going to do those yet. We have side plates that are going to go on the side. That's the side metal armor plates. That's these heavy duty guys right here. These are pretty thick, and they're thick and they're heavy, and they are going to go on this very side of the tanks, and they drape down. Yeah, I'm not going to be leaving them perfectly flat like this. I think realistically, they're good. In real life, they get bent just a little bit and stuff like that. I'm not going to mangle it. My point is not to make this thing like a beat up tank, but it's one that's in service. It's been used, right? Yeah, of course, you look at the picture here. On the box art, they don't even have these on there at all. And that's probably just for the box art, so you can actually see the running gear and everything on the sides, right? But realistically, this tank did have them, and so yeah, you can see in the manual here, you can see them going all the way along there, right? So yeah. I noticed if you do a search on YouTube on this particular tank and some guys building this one, I see some guys though, like there's one guy, he actually puts one plate just on the back, and like it's missing one or two of them. Like, well, maybe it's run into some stuff. Who knows, right? Anyway, that's those things. And yeah, so that's going to be a little bit later. We want to finish off the turret today. That's what we want to do. We want to finish off the turret. And that is going to mean this here, move him out of my way for now. Okay, so we have our little, what do they call this? This is the commander's cupola assembly, and we have our machine guns, the anti-aircraft machine gun assembly. I don't know, and you got a machine gun that you're going to, that's not going to, well, maybe back in World War II that was good enough to take out an aircraft. Let's see, so we want our C, oh, we got photo etch parts to put on here too. We want our C tree for the most part. This is all C parts. So let's start with the machine gun. Machine gun will be first. So we want C, and I want to change my glasses. So let's see for our C. There we go. C. C. We want C23 and 9 and 30 and 12 and 26 and 24 and 49, 52. We want everything off of here. Let's start with 23. Get this guy here. And right away we got a photo etch piece to put on here. So let's look at W30. This is our W sprue. We want number 30, 6, 30. This guy here. So let's get our glass out. And the knife. 30. We'll be going back to that because we've got another piece to put on here, the sight for the gun. Let's see. Clean it up a little bit. Where's my little file? It's here somewhere. There he is. Okay. Just file off these edges. Okay, now we're going to need some CA glue to actually glue that on there. I'm going to clean off this nub. I have to be mindful of how I'm holding this, because with I changed my overhead camera here to 4K, and of course that crops it a bit and it makes it a little more zoomed in, and it's a little more difficult. I find that when I hold the part close to me, now I'm off screen on that particular view. Okay, so we want this goes like that. We want the little notch there facing. Okay, I happen to have some CA glue already ready, because I was using some for my little cables. Tweezers. Here we go. That is on there. I'm not sure what kind of detail it's supposed to give, but we gave it. There we go. Okay, let's put that aside. Now, moving on to the machine gun, I might as well do this. We want C26. Just this guy here. Actually got some pretty good detail on these machine guns. We want C24 also, so I might as well just take this off now. Okay, so that's 24. So now we want to take this, clean up our little sight here. And clean up the stock. Of course, these are a little delicate, right? So you don't want to use a lot of pressure in cleaning them up. You want to take your time, do little bits, because you don't want to accidentally break these little tiny tabs that are off. So now I need W25. It's going to go on his sight here. W25. We're back with the photo etch. There it is there. Very highly detailed sight. Almost like you would see on a plane. There we go. Okay. So back with this, and it's going to go right on here, this part there. Go. I'm just going to do this so we can pick this up. Oh, darn. Where did you go? Did I lose you? No, no, you're right there. Let's try this again. This time, hold on to it. It's kind of a really strange, huge sight to put on a machine gun. Not really happy with the way it's holding. That's better. Much better. Okay. So what I'm going to do is put this in my tweezers. To hold on to it like this until that glue sets. Okay. So we can work on C24. That's this one here. Just going to clean this one up. Oh, I see. We're having an option of what kind of machine gun. So putting that little sight on that one, I like this one better. I like C24 better because we actually have the cartridge going in from the bottom here, and you get to see all the ammo and the bullets and everything like that. And that's a better look than this other one that just has a great big sight on it. And it looks kind of almost ridiculous. So, I think this one looks better. This is a better looking gun. Just visually, it's nicer looking. So, I'm going to choose this one over that other one. So we want C49 and 52 for the other pieces of this gun. Here's 49. And we want 52. Here's our actual ammo that's sticking out. There we go. Okay. Now, they've done me the favor of making me remove nubs off of this. So This piece is going to go on top of the gun. Which way faces up? This is down, so this has to be smooth. I apologize, guys, if you can't even see the detail. See what I'm doing, shaving off little parts of it and stuff like that, because there's such small pieces to work with. So this goes on top. Just like that. Okay, so let's get our regular glue. There we go. And now our ammo has to go in on the side there. So, where will ammo go? Well, they've really done a fantastic job at sculpting these bullets as to make them look like actual separate bullets. And then they're going to go in here. Yeehaw. Don't fall away. Don't. He tried to go to the floor. Just try it again. Stop trying to run away. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to show you guys this. So there is our little gun. Looks kind of whitewashed if I do this. There you go. The detail on the bullets is pretty cool. Anyway, so that's that. So that's our machine gun that we're using. Okay, I'm not going to use this other one. It just doesn't look right. Okay, so we've got the mounts for it. So we need C9, 12, 30, and 43. Back with our C tree. We want C9. It's this guy here. And we want 12. Okay. Some pretty tiny, intricate pieces. 12. What I'm actually going to do is put them in here. They're going to be easier for me to see on the orange lid. We need 30 and 43. It's 30. 43, where are you? It's 34, there's 43. All right, here we go. Got lots of little funky things on this piece, sticking out. just to get these cleaned up. You got to be careful when you're trying to clean up these fragile little bars, not to dig into them too harshly with the knife, and just try and shave off just a little hair at a time until it's smooth and your nub mark is gone. I find trying to sand down these parts, you wind up having to press on them too harshly, and it's just, you wind up bending them to the point where you can break them easy. And of course, if you're too heavy-handed with your knife, you can just cut the thing right in half without trying, and that's not good either. Piece of flashing to cut off here. Ejector pin. Almost done. This piece does not require any cleanup. This one, however, first one we grabbed, supposed to be split in the middle, that. This looks like it's some kind of a rest for the barrel. It's so small in its detail, it's hard for me to get my fingers in there to actually do anything with it, to clean it. There we go. There, okay. So this has to go down on that. So let's drop that down. Need a little bit of glue on this tip. And then let's see. It goes on there. Yet another one of those, why did you make me put this on? Kinds of details. Okay, I think I got that lined up pretty good there. Okay, there's that. Now we need to take, remember this guy we did over here? This guy. We're going to have him facing this way as we put this piece on. Looks like it's going to line up I'm not quite ready for this one yet. We have this piece. He is going to go on here, on the back, like that. Okay. And now they actually want this guy going down onto this, it's a little bit confusing just how they want it. But it looks like this is going into the side. I understand how it's supposed to go. It goes like this. Okay. Goes like that. Try to make sure it's lined up. Flush. There we go. See, the problem I find with these little delicate pieces, it's just kind of sitting on top of it, like a bar is sitting on it like this, and that's the only point of contact, right? And it's pieces like that that I find personally are the most delicate when it comes to other things, like painting it and trying to mask off something. You know, suddenly your part just wants to fall apart on you, and you wind up having to glue it a second time or a third time even, right? Okay, so I need to let this kind of just sit for a moment. And we're going to wait because I want to make sure that glue is set before I put this piece onto the back of it and then put the gun on. So we're just going to let these sit by themselves over here for a little time. Okay? That's what we're going to do with them. And we're going to move on to this Commander's cupola. Cupola? I don't know how to pronounce it. Could be cupola. A couple of what? I don't know, a couple of things. We're still on the C tree though. We want C27 and 28. That's these two guys. H3, so we want more clear pieces, but if I can get away with it, I'm not going to put those clear pieces in because I want to be able to paint this thing without having to mask off 400 little clear windows. So if I can get away with it, okay, sometimes that if is pretty big. We'll see. Get big ejector pins in there. I don't know if I'll have to remove them or not. This one maybe, it might interfere with that hole. We'll see. Possible that whatever goes in here might get affected by this pin, so let's clear that out. Alright, so this guy, like this, goes into here. Now, it's got this big slot here, but they don't really... Is there actually a notch for them to go together? It doesn't feel like it. Oh yes, there we go. Should line up right there. But it's not because of this ejector pin. So, get rid of that. Clean it up as best I can in here. Angle is not the best for trying to clean this out. There we go. So, they want me to put the windows in through here, in there, and then they're going to stick out here, right? Okay. We line this up again, just like that. Okay, so you would put the clear piece through here, and you're going to see it in here. But I don't have to, there's no cover here. It's just going to sit down on the turret. It's literally going to sit like this. Like that. I could even glue that down and I still have access to it on the inside. If I wanted to go that route. Right? I think I might just save gluing it down for now. And yeah, I don't have to glue it, so that is great. I can wait until I'm ready for final assembly before gluing it. I just need to clean up a little bit of my nub marks here, make that a little smoother. There we go. So then I will glue this in. There we go. So these two pieces are together. Just going to hold it for a minute. We got another piece of photo etching to do. W29. And what are you? W29. It's this guy right here. Okay. W29. You. Just a funny looking little piece. Let's clean them up here. Sometimes these pieces are so small, I can't even hold them with my fingers and file them at the same time, so I use my tweezers like this to be able to grab onto it. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Now it needs to be bent. They always have little score marks for where you bend them, which makes it extremely helpful. They want it bent not quite 90 degrees, but pretty close. Maybe like 80 to 85 degrees. Kind of like that. Okay. And he's going to go on this little spot right here. You want him facing this direction. That's not the way to do it, okay? Don't do what I just did. You're not supposed to drop the piece and have it roll around on you. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we gotta get these pieces. We want C 37, 31, and 11, and 25, and 10. Lots of pieces. Okay, so back to our C. Here's 37. Kind of our hatch on the top of the hatch. And then we want 11, which is this guy here. A little grab handle. We want 25, which is this guy here. $31. It's 22. 50. 31 over here. And finally we're going to want C10, so where is it? I'm guessing it was in here. Which means it's in the box somewhere. This guy. C10. Isn't that the U.S. Air Force's cargo plane? C10? It could be wrong. Probably wrong. It happens. Hey! Finally remembered to watch me, eh? Well, welcome back. Alright, so there's that piece. Now I gotta clean these up. Thought that might be a bit of flashing, but it looks like it's a little notch, a guide pin. It could be wrong, could be right. No, it looks like there's a little notch there. Okay, so there's that one. This is going to go on here like this. That, but we gotta get her nice and flat here. There we go. Just like that. Just like so. Okay, there's that. This is going to go on the side, right here. So there should be a little notch for it, but it doesn't really look like it. They do have it, it's there, so it's intended to go in one particular direction, so that is the direction we will put it in. Line the notch up there. Just like that. Make sure it's level. There we go. No idea what the purpose of this is, but it's there. And then we got a little handle that's got to go on top here. Doesn't want to cooperate. Okay. Just like that. Make sure it's straight and level. Okay, our handle's on. Now this goes in. Ah, damn it.
Moments later.
It wasn't as much of a disaster as I thought it would be. So it goes in like this. In theory, fits in the hole. There we go. So that's in. And now we take our ring, and it's got to go on here. Looks like there's one with a little pin, and of course some flashing to keep it from sitting down flush. This one too, and this one too. Okay, so there's a little pin, and there's one with a hole. And so that's how we're going to line this up. Just like that. So let's put some glue on these. There we go. Now what they're kind of showing me here is that my machine gun has to go on there, but I haven't assembled it yet. And it looks like it's just going to sit on top of one of these. They actually show it sitting on this one. So not the one that had the guide pin, but this one here. So maybe there's a little thing sticking up here, so that might come into effect. Now that this has been sitting for a few minutes, I think I can safely continue on with the assembly of this. This needs to go on here like that. Just like so. Just like that. And now our gun goes on there. And they show it lining up like this. And it looks like they actually want the bullets to be going down in the hole here. Like this. But that doesn't really make sense. If I line, where am I supposed to line this up? Right on that spot. There. The bullets are just a hair too big to fit down into this little crevice, which is why I don't want to just shove them all down in there. Or twist them to get them to fit. And I don't want to force them down in there. It's not right. What I don't like is it's not really, it's kind of only being held on by 2 points, and those points are not very strong. They're not too bad either. Okay, so I'm going to put some glue on our forward mount where it's supposed to mount, so we can get her held in where it's supposed to go. Those bullets are supposed to go into our little container here, like it or not. That's where it's going. I just want the gun to be at the right angle. That might be all right. Extra just for safe measure. There we go. Okay. I had the bullets kind of on a more of a slack thing. What do we got here? I gotta change my glasses out. The font is too small. I need to increase my font size. Recently went to my first model competition to see other people's builds and had a lot of fun. It was claimed as Northern California's largest show. There were amazing dioramas. Wow. Yeah, that's the one thing I've never been to. I've never been to a modeling show or model competition. Like that's cool. I've never been to one of those myself. I don't even know if we have them up here in my city. It's possible, I guess. Maybe just something I've never noticed. Okay, so with this together, this now has to go onto here, like so. So, how is that going to go? It appears that this mounts just on the edge like that. And that's it. All right. This is a bit of a delicate little move. As long as I can hold it long enough for the glue to set. That's it. Just like that. Okay. There were a few people selling kits, and some of them were very old, like 50s and 60s. Wow. I guess there's something to be said about, I mean, kits that old, I don't know, the detail's not there. They didn't have the tooling back then for stuff. It's really just for nostalgia, right? Yeah, that's all I can say about that. You're not buying those kits because they're super detailed and super realistic. You're just buying them because they're old, right? That's basically the only reason for it. So there's our gun. We got the gun done. Gun done. And now this goes on top of the turret, like so, just like that. And that's how that's gonna go. I'm not quite happy with the angle of the actual machine gun. It should be more up. I got it straight up and down now, so that's good, but it just should be a little more up, I think. So what I'm going to do is, let's just put something underneath of it. What can I put? No. No. I need a little wedge of some sort. Too much. There we go. Alright, so now let's just put this here. Let that sit for a little bit. Okay. Now, what I need to do is our anti-aircraft plating. So I've got to switch over to the S tree. S, 8, 13, and 14. Hey, now it's too high. Actually, it's the way it fell, it's absolutely perfect. Perfect. Okay. Where was I? S tree. S tree. Okay. S. Where are you? There you are. S. We gotta get our little plate off of here. Do I know when this Panther kit came out? That's a good question. It might be on the box. It might be in the instructions. (2001). It's copyright 2001, so I'm going to say 2001. Now, of course, they do have different versions, so it could be that just this version came out in 2001. So that was S8. We want 13 and 14. Yeah, that's one thing that's kind of neat with the Meng kits. The Mengs, they do color to help you see which parts we're actually working on for that particular diagram. Come on, for there. Come on, there you go. So we got 113 and 2 14s. Make sure they're clean. That one's good. Good. And good. Okay. So, we have this plate, but this plate is our X1 plate. But we're going to be gluing these things to this thing first. Okay? So let's just first. Let's see. So are you going to color it like the box camo? So will it be a painting process? The colors, yes, it's going to be the same colors, but not quite that particular design. Bear with me a moment here before I get these pieces glued in, and I will show you the pattern. Because this particular kit, you have 4 different types of camo that you can do. And yeah, you get 4 different options depending on what build you're doing. A, B, C, or D. How the fuck do these go in? These are supposed to go in through here. Like that. There we go. Okay, there's one. You want that facing this way. Let's get this one. Oh no, maybe not. They have the patterns for this like this right there. That would mean just a tiny little nub is sticking up. But in the diagram they have it showing that you can see this sticking up there. Like that. But that would make it much taller. So I don't think there's any notches in our actual plate. There's holes. I'm going to go with the diagram. And that's how we're going to do it. Okay? That's how we're going to do it. Of course, these ones don't want to fit through these holes. I'm going to change my mind because I have that prerogative. That would suck if that fell on the floor. Third one. Okay. So with these on here, it gives us a little bit of a standoff between the metal plate that's going to go on there, but not much. And that could be what they wanted. It could be what's going on, but yeah, I might regret this, but whatever. Painting color, the color scheme, I'll show you here. This particular one, you've got A, B, C, and D versions that you can assemble this as and paint it, depending on the color. So here's the A version right there. Okay, let's see if I get that there. That's the A version. Okay, and then we have B and C, and then we have the D, the good old D. And the D is what we're doing. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm doing the D. So like I said, the colors, the actual colors are all the same, but yeah, just the pattern's different depending on what they are, what you want to do. And they got descriptions of them, like A is Unit 424 of 26th Regiment, 45. B is a 31st Panzer Regiment in October 44. C is the 27th Panzer Regiment and the 19th Panzer Division in September of 44. And the D, of course, what we are doing is the 102nd 1st Battalion Headquarters, 35th Panzer Regiment, 4th Panzer Division in Courland, the summer of 1944. So that's what we're doing. Okay, so let's test fit our little metal piece here. First we have to take our little protective screens off. Which is pretty cool that they have those. Where'd my knife go? There it is. Yes, I'll be using the airbrush to paint it. I am going to be masking it, probably with my, what you call this stuff? Elastic putty. I'll use that to mask it because that's going to be easier to use than, well, anything else really. There we go. Of course, I have that little one right there in the middle that is going to be, I'm going to have to use my file. Okay, so let's test fit this guy. This is not supposed to fit flush, but unfortunately now it is. It's flush, right? It's supposed to have that bit of a standoff, which means the diagram is right. It's not just supposed to fit flush on there. There's supposed to be a gap. So that means I gotta pull these all out. Unfortunately, with this glue, it doesn't set super fast, so I'm gonna grab my other tweezers so I can twist this. There's one. And now there's one on the floor. Let's go searching for a little pin. Remember when I said earlier that it's a good thing it didn't fall on the floor? Oh, thank you. Fell on the floor, but not into the abyss, so that's good. twist this around the way it's supposed to go. Okay, so with those in there, I'm going to re-glue them. And all those done. And so now you'll see when I put this on there, now there's a little gap, and just like there's supposed to be a gap in that, like it actually sits above there, what would probably be about 6 inches in real life. Yeah, the weathering and mud splatter, if you go on my YouTube and you check out my other tank builds, I do that. I do it not so much the weathering so much. There's a little bit, but I do the rust on the tracks and the mud and stuff like that. I do that also. I don't do too much. I don't go over the top with it because I find it's, unless I'm doing a build where I want the thing to look abandoned, which I've yet to do, I might do that. I've got a Tiger tank to build, and I might build that one as like it's been, you know, it lost the battle, you know, that kind of thing. I might do the Tiger like that. Beat up and damaged and just left to rot kind of thing. Okay, so one thing I do need to do, I do need to bend this, okay, right there to match the contour of this. And they've got a nice little crease right there for me. So I'm going to get my bender tool. And just to make my life easy, I'm going to do this, line up that crease. That, and just give it a little bit of a bend. There's not a heck of a lot of a bend in this, so I want it to match. It's just a little bit. Of course I bent it the wrong way. Damn it. Okay, so let's bend it the right way now. How's my angle? I actually have it bent a little bit more than the piece, but that's okay. We can always adjust. Yeah, it's bent a little too much, but I can bend it back. That's easy enough. That's about perfect, just like that. Now, I could glue it down, but then I'm going to have issues trying to get paint underneath of it. And I do want to paint underneath of it. I don't want to leave it gray, right? Because this thing's not going to be gray. So I'm going to hold off before painting this. Now what I might do is I could just hit that with the Mr. Surfacer Black and then glue it on. I think I just might do that, because I do have my Mr. Surfacer Black right here. So let me just quickly do that. So it's not going to take a whole lot to do. Let's grab one of these. There we go. It's black now. So we'll just let that dry for a minute. And yeah, we'll glue this on, and then I think I'm probably going to call it a day. We're pretty much finished with the assembly. All I have left to do, M-tree. I got a couple of parts to put on the top of the turret here. This can come off now so it don't get accidentally bumped by anything. We've got a bar that's supposed to go across here off the M-tree. We need M17, which is a little bar, and then 33 times 2. Love Mr. Surfacer. When your next streams? If I have time tomorrow morning, I'll do a stream. If I don't have time in the morning, then it will be Monday. With it being Thanksgiving here, I've got Monday off. So I'll be able to stream again on Monday. But it's going to depend. Tomorrow is kind of an up in the air. I'm not sure what, how busy I'm going to be in the morning tomorrow. But Monday will be for sure. So that's all I can tell you about tomorrow. Tomorrow is a maybe. But if not tomorrow, definitely Monday. And as for Mr. Surfacer, yeah, it's a nice primer, and it's a nice enough primer that you can leave it as almost like a top coat, or as your base coat for color. That's what I like about it. I can use it as pre-shading. Like, I might base coat this whole thing in Mr. Surfacer Black, just so that I can use it as a pre-shader for doing in around these lines and stuff like that. And yeah, so I can pre-shade it using Mr. Surfacer. Is pretty handy for that. Okay, so we have this piece here which needs to go here. What I don't like is that it almost interferes with, see, that interferes with how high that goes. If I remove that, I can actually tilt that up higher. So I'm not happy with the fact that it's doing that, restricting how high it goes. But that's the way it goes. That's just the way it is, right? It's just the way it is. Meanwhile, we got our two little pieces that go here and here, so let's get those on. One. Let's get this one flipped around the right way. two. Okay. And now just a bit on this leading edge, because I want the turret to still be functional. Just like so. There we go. She's on. Just like that. And that would actually complete the turret part, except for the top. It's dry? We are dry. Good. Okay. So, one last piece. Let's see, where is my CA glue? We need the CA glue to do the photo etch pieces, obviously. That's going to go in here, here, and here. Fortunately, you don't need to worry about getting sloppy with it as long as you don't have it coming out through the top, right? This particular piece doesn't matter, so it's all sitting down on the edge, and so we're just going to hold it like that. We're actually going to use a little clip. I don't need a big clip, but I've got one here. So I'll just do this, just to keep the pressure down. And that'll hold it. It's actually a little too much pressure. I don't want to squeeze the crap out of it. I don't want to inadvertently bend it in a weird way. So I'll use a smaller clip. Actually, I'll just use these guys. These guys don't put too much pressure. Just like that. Good enough. To hold that, that's going to go here. Well, it's actually going to face this way. I actually have the hole for this guy sticking through. It's going to go on there like this, okay? And you're basically just going to line it up until it's not interfering with anything. Put that on, and that'll be it. So that's it. That's going to be it for today. That's going to be it for actual assembly. Next is going to be painting, masking, all that good stuff. Now later on today, I might get a chance to just paint this whole thing in the primer, so that will be done, so I can get to actually airbrushing it tomorrow or like next time. Thank you, Mr. Ambulance, for interrupting me. Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna leave it at this for now and call it a day, and yeah, that's about it. For the actual assembly of this thing, obviously there's the tracks to put on. I got a whole weathering thing to do and gonna need to do with the tracks. That's a whole thing. So we're not done. We're not quite at completion, but we're finished the primary assembly, right? And now we're on to painting. Painting is going to be a whole another thing. And well, thank you, Piper, aka Matt. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so that's, like I said, that's going to be it for now. And painting is a whole nother thing. That's going to take another few days. So yeah, so I want to thank you for coming out. Thanks for watching. You guys watching me on YouTube, I want to thank you guys again. Hit that like button, all that good stuff. Like and subscribe, you know, typical things. Everybody asks for that, and I'm no exception. I need those things too. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, and I really appreciate it. And yeah, so if you want to check out still pictures of the things that I build, you can check me out on my Instagram, and if you're watching on YouTube, you can check out the description box, and you'll see I put some links there to my Instagram and my Twitter also, if you want to check that stuff out. And so Thanks again for watching. Thanks for coming out. And we'll see you all in the next one.